Lindsay Clancy trial day 19, Reddington ate this man alive this morning. He learned his lesson and joined on Zoom this time, but that didn't stop him from getting absolutely grilled. He didn't know how to answer questions. He kept saying, "I don't know," and the judge even had to set him straight. And Reddington's last words to him were, "I don't care." I mean, it was insane. Reddington starts by completely discrediting him, proving that this is only the third criminal responsibility case that he's ever dealt with, and even brings up a case in Florida where the judge ruled that he is not qualified and his opinion doesn't matter. Reddington then asked, "While you were evaluating Lindsay, where did you stay?" And he said, "In a private home." And Reddington asked if the other psychiatrist who was evaluating Lindsay with him stayed in that same home, and he said, "I don't know." And that is huge, because if both psychiatrists were staying together or discussing Lindsay and the trial, that is a big problem. And at one point he started smiling, and Reddington said, "What are you smiling for? This is not funny, sir." Reddington then also says that he basically has confirmation bias because he was hired by the prosecutors, and he says, no, that's not true at all. Reddington also pointed out that Lindsay took a lie detector test to show that she was not exaggerating or lying, and he said that's not true either. Reddington then said that all of these doctors and experts have testified that Lindsay had postpartum depression and psychosis, but you still want to stand behind the claim that she only had a major depressive episode? And he said, yeah. Reddington also brought up the Edinburgh scale and the fact that Lindsay was off the charts, and his response was, "I don't use that scale." One of the best parts was when Reddington said, "You don't even know the difference between an episiotomy and a tear," and he was just sitting there confused. Reddington then goes through all of Lindsay's symptoms that correlate directly with postpartum psychosis and depression and says, how can you say that she didn't have this? And he basically said that postpartum depression doesn't exist 4 weeks after giving birth. At this point, he wasn't answering Reddington's questions, he was just waffling, and the judge got angry and said, "You need to answer his questions. You don't ask the questions. These are the rules, and if you can't answer the question, just say that." Towards the end, he agreed that Lindsay was in a serious psychiatric state, but still said that she never had psychosis and that she should still be held criminally responsible. Then came the cross-examination where he suddenly remembered how to answer questions. And her questions were very leading, like, "You're not an investigator, right? You were provided with all of the medical records, right? You and the other psychiatrist never discussed the case, right?" And of course he answered yes to all of that. They also tried saying that Lindsay only had the symptoms of a depressive episode and not postpartum, but that's only because she didn't fall within the 4 weeks that they dictated. Reddington then gets back up there, and the only thing he says is, "Are you suggesting that my office had something to do with the timeline of you